it's time for the Jockstrap Sports MMA podcast. Hello and welcome to the Jockstrap Sports MMA podcast. Today we're going to go over the UFC on ESPN3, or better known as UFC Jacare versus Jack Hermansson. And then also I was going to do some Bellator 220. I was going to go over 4 fights on Bellator 220. Then we're going to go over the last fight, UFC St. Petersburg, and kind of give some reactions and how we did betting wise, all that kind of stuff. So I'm Justin, and then this is Adam, the perpetual host of Jockstrap Sports, the face of Jockstrap Sports. Want to say something, man?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back.
And I saw that you had, before we get into fights, we're going to get into fights really quick, and I always start with the meat, so I always start with like the headliner, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to make you guys wait, but today I'm going to make you wait a little bit, because Adam sent me a picture of what he's drinking, and it's Jameson. Why aren't you going with the Conor McGregor 12, whatever it's called? Whiskey?
Proper 12?
Proper 12, yeah.
Because I won't support anything Conor McGregor.
Oh, okay. Oh man, some of these listeners might, some of our 4 listeners might be upset at you with it.
Yeah, the guy's a thug. I'm not a fan.
Okay, gotcha. I kind of hear you. He keeps getting in trouble with the law and keeps doing community service, so that's cool. All right, let's get into this fight though. Let's stop talking about Conor McGregor. I'm not sure how I feel about him. If you want to know my stance, but either way. So we're going to the main card. It's a middleweight, Jacare versus Jack Hermansson. I'm pretty sure this is a 5-round fight. So Jacare Souza, he's 26-6, 8 KOs, 14 submissions, 4 decisions, 13th UFC fight. He has 2 losses, and they were the 2 recent losses that I'm looking at here, where it was a Robert Whittaker and Kelvin Gastelum. Robert Whittaker is a champ. Kelvin Gastelum just fought for the title, and his last fight he KO'd Chris Weidman. And Chris Weidman was actually beating Jacare during the fight, using wrestling to beat him, and Jacare landed some hard punches on him. Jack Hermansson is 19-4, 11 KOs, 5 submissions, 3 decisions, 9th UFC fight. He hasn't really fought anyone the caliber of Jacare, not yet. He has great speed and good finishes and everything. And for this, I was writing this out when I was watching the last UFC, and I put my initial thoughts. Actually, my other thoughts always kind of seem to support my initial thoughts, at least on this card. And my initial thoughts were Jacare by TKO. And I'm saying I still think I'm going to take Jacare by TKO. Hermansson can come out and land a few against Jacare because Jacare does get hit. But I think Jacare has good takedown defense, and I think he'll use it. He has really good knowledge. I don't know if he's an intelligent fighter, but he knows how to fight all aspects of the game. He's really well-rounded. I think he could do very well. He might even be able to submit Hermansson, but I think Hermansson's going to be the one that wants to take it to the ground, and I think Jacare will want to do the stand-up. So I think Jacare by TKO.
I got a quick question because I'm looking at the lines right now.
Yeah.
I see Jack Hermansson.
Okay,
and so the other guy is Ronaldo Souza?
That's correct. Everyone calls him Jacare. It's his nickname.
Okay. But, I just wanted to make sure. I was like, is this the same guy?
Yeah, it is for sure.
Shows how much I know about these guys. So,
yeah, it's only the main card. So, but what's the?
I'm learning.
Yeah. What's the line at?
The line on this one, you got a Jacare at -200.
Okay, I kind of had a feeling it'd be around there. I don't know how I feel about that bet either. If it was closer in the 100s, it might be a good bet, but I don't know. Let's go on to the next one before we talk about some bets, right?
Let's do it.
Heavyweight. Greg Hardy against Dmitry Smokolov. I think that's right. Greg Hardy, 3-1-0. He's coming off his first loss where he threw a ridiculous illegal knee. It's his second UFC fight. All his first wins were by TKO. Dmitry Smokolov, 9-2, 4 KO, 5 submissions, third UFC fight. He lost his first 2 and went to another promotion. Now he's back for 1 fight. He went to another promotion for 1 fight. My initial thoughts, I can't support Greg Hardy for anything, so I'm taking Smokolov by TKO. I can't stand Greg Hardy. I'm going to watch the fight, but I just want to be known that I don't like the guy.
Now is this a bet you would make realistically, or is this just you take Dmitry solely based on the fact that you don't like Greg Hardy?
I don't know. The last time
It sounds a little bit biased.
yeah, it's very biased. This is a very biased thing. The last time Greg Hardy fought, he gassed out pretty quick and actually got. I don't know though. No, it's just a really biased pick. I'm trying to, but the thing that Smokolov has is 5 submissions, and Greg Hardy, I don't know if he has really fought someone that has submissions, but I don't know. I mean, it's his 4th fight altogether. It's crazy.
I mean, the only reason I'm saying so is because Greg Hardy's coming in at minus 335.
Right.
So heavy favorite.
Yeah. How much do you get on Smokolov or Dimitri or whatever?
Plus 255.
Ah. I mean, it's not a good bet. I mean, it's, I don't know. I'm going to be cheering for it anyway, but I don't know if that's a way to really look at things.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass on this one then.
Next one's a welterweight. Alex, the Cowboy Olivier, the Brazilian Cowboy, against Mike Platinum Perry. Alex Oliveira. Jeez. Okay, it's Alex Oliveira, and he's the Brazilian Cowboy. So Cowboy has 12 KOs, 4 submissions, and 3 decisions. 15th UFC fight. The Brazilian Cowboy, I wrote it again. He lost to Gunnar Nelson last via rear naked choke. Previously beat Carlos Condit and Petter Soli, who's a really well-rounded good guy, good fighter. And then Mike Perry, 12-4, 11 KO, 1 decision, 10th UFC fight. His last loss was to Cerrone, the other Cowboy, via armbar. So Platinum Perry is known for his knockouts, and his last knockout was actually in 2017, and they were devastating, but it's something that resonates in people's minds. So my initial thoughts were Alex Oliveira by submission, and I'm saying Mike Perry has been fighting very one-dimensional recently. Cowboy is very well-rounded, and if he comes out one-dimensional again, I think he'll be exploited against him, because Alex Oliveira is really well-rounded. He kind of is like the Brazilian Cowboy. He's got submissions. He's got, 4 submissions doesn't really do his jiu-jitsu justice because he's really good at it. So I would say Alex Oliveira inside distance. I think he's going to beat Mike Perry. Alex Oliveira has fought strikers and has a good chin, and he's a smart fighter. I think he's got it.
Okay, it's not a too severely one-sided fight. Oliveira comes in at minus 200.
Oh, okay.
Mike Perry would have been a plus 160.
Yeah.
So obviously not a whole lot to gain, but like you said, I mean, if you're confident, you might as well put $1 down.
Yeah, I think so. That's a pretty big confidence pick for me. Mike Perry's probably going to come out just swinging, and Oliveira is going to be able to be smart and wrestle and probably submit him. Next one's a light heavyweight. Glover Teixeira against Ian Cutelaba. Man, when I was writing these, I knew that I was like, yeah, I know I'm going to pronounce his name right on the show, and here I am not pronouncing it right again.
Glover, I think that's Cutelaba.
Yeah, Cutelaba. Glover is at 28-7. He's a 17 KO, 7 submissions, and 4 decisions. 17th UFC fight. He is a legend, man. He has hands and submissions. Interesting story. So do you know who Chuck Liddell is, right? I hope you do.
Of course I do.
Okay.
I'm not that bad at UFC knowledge.
When Chuck Liddell was going crazy in the UFC, Glover was going crazy in Brazil, and they were trying to get Glover over to the UFC, but there's something up with like passports and everything. And finally, when he was able to get into the UFC, or like a work visa, that kind of thing. Finally, when he was able to do that, Chuck Liddell was kind of on his downslope. So they never were like in the UFC together, or like at least when they're in their prime. But that's how far back Glover kind of goes. So Cutelaba's 14-3, 11 KO, 2 submissions, 1 decision, 6th UFC fight. He lost to Cannonier and Misha Serkinov. He comes out. So when he comes in his weigh-ins, at least the last few times, he dressed himself up like the Hulk. It's kind of funny. He's kind of a funny guy. My initial thoughts were Glover Teixeira by TKO, and I still think Glover's going to win inside distance. This is kind of like one of those potentially passing the torches fights, but I think Glover is gonna smartly win this fight, and Glover's got some submissions, and he's yeah. I think he might even be able to submit him. I don't know if it's gonna be TKO now, but I think he's gonna rebound.
This one is a very, very close fight,
Yeah.
odds wise. Glover Teixeira coming in at -110. Ian Cutelaba coming in at -120. So a little bit of an underdog pick.
Oh, that's
but obviously not, not a big underdog.
right.
It's gonna be a very close fight, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
I think it will. The thing is, so Cute Laba, he's fought some competition, but Glover's only fought world beaters for competition. So it's hard to really match their record together. But yeah, I got Glover. I think Glover's gonna win. Next one's a bantamweight: John Lineker versus Corey Sandhagen. John Lineker versus Corey Sandhagen. John Lineker's 31-8. Isn't that a crazy record? 31-8. There's a lot of guys on this card like this, so it's a really cool, like, hardcore MMA card. Anyway,
seems like a lot of guys that have been around for a while.
Yeah, but they're still like producing good fights. That's what's cool about it. Well, except when we get deeper into the card, I'll talk about it then. But Lineker's 14 KOs, 4 submissions, 12 decisions. He's 8-2 in his last 10, and the losses were to Dillashaw and Ali Bagatidov. Both of those guys are good. I mean, Dillashaw had the title. He got popped for some illegal substance though, so he had to give up his title. Corey Sandhagen is 10-1, 4 KO, 3 submissions, and 3 decisions. He beat up Uri Alcantara and also Austin Arnett via TKO. Those are the 2 best people he fought. My initial thoughts were John Lineker, just because I know both these guys. I think that they're both going to come out swinging. If he's going to try to take the Lineker down, I think it might be a bad idea. He might get hit on the entrance, or even get just against Lineker's takedown defense. Lineker's a really good vet. I got Lineker landing, and I think he's going to win this by a TKO. I think Lineker's got this one.
Lineker to -140.
Okay.
So
that's a pretty good line, I think.
Yeah, pretty good line. -140. Sandhagen would have come in at +110.
Yeah.
So, not a bad line. There's still a little money to be made.
Yeah.
So we'll take it.
Once again, for at least the last 5 years, Lineker's only fought guys in like the top 5. Or guys that were going to be in the top 5. So he's fought the better competition. That's like MMA math, I know, but whatever. That's what I'm going by. All right, next one, lightweight. Oh, I'm really excited about this fight because I like this Roosevelt Roberts guy. Roosevelt Roberts versus Thomas Gifford. Roosevelt Roberts is 7-0, 3 KO, 4 submission. It's his second UFC fight. So his first UFC fight, he submitted this guy Daniel Hooker via guillotine, and it was such a strong. He had like such a strong hold on it that Hooker was like horizontal and like laying against the cage, like horizontal off the ground, being held up by his neck. And that's the way that Roosevelt Roberts won. He was just holding this guy by his neck, horizontal against the cage. It was awesome. Thomas Gifford's a 14-7, 2 KO, 12 submissions, first UFC fight. My initial thoughts were Roosevelt Roberts by TKO. I agree with my initial thoughts. I do think that both these guys are really good at submissions, and I think that is going to open up the striking for Roosevelt Roberts because he actually has pretty good striking. So I got Roberts by TKO.
I mean, I think that's a very good pick, especially looking at the odds right now.
Yeah.
-140 versus a +300.
Okay.
So
yeah,
they weren't giving Gifford much of a chance.
Yeah. Everyone's seeing that. Man, wow, that's a lopsided fight for sure. I thought so too, but man. Now we're going to prelim card on ESPN. I love these fights that are on ESPN. Anyway, it's a welterweight fight. What's up?
Do you love them because you don't have to pay for the pay-per-view?
Yeah, or ESPN Plus. But welterweight, Ben Saunders versus Tashiki Soto.